Okay, so let's go ahead and start the review sheet that I sent out over section 4.3. So this will be for the quiz. Like I said, well, because there's so many word problems, this will be covered today and tomorrow. So the first page, 1 through 8, we're just solving and then graphing various inequalities. And then once we get to the back, there's two different sections. There's a section of word problems where you write the inequality, but you don't have to solve it. And then there's another part where you're writing it and then actually solving it. And so I tried to build those in ways that make them similar to what you can expect to see on the quiz. Okay, so anybody want to volunteer for number 1? You want it? Okay. And for those of you that are soft-spoken, just rest assured that my mic is not going to pick you up.
Okay, so you add 16 to both sides.
Right, so I have 3x, sorry, let me jot this down really quick. Okay, so yeah, so with this inequality, we know to solve for x, we need to add 16 to both sides, and that gives you what?
That gives you 21, so 3x, sorry, is greater than 21.
Right.
Okay, and then you divide both sides by 3, and then you get x is greater than 7.
Perfect.
And you graph it.
And then we graph it. And we know that we don't have to worry about flipping or modifying our inequality sign because we're not multiplying by a negative number or dividing for that matter. All right. Okay, so what number are we starting with?
7.
Okay.
And you put your little circle at 7 and it's open.
Right, we have an open circle at 7.
Okay, and you go to the right.
Right, so any number greater than 7 will make our original inequality a true statement. All right, so there's our graph and there's our solution. All right, good job. All right, Ava, you want number 2? Sure. Okay, so we have x divided by 5 minus 3 is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, what do we do first? Right, remember reverse order of operations. So we always do the addition or subtraction first. Okay, next. Right, so we multiply by 5. Because we're multiplying by the reciprocal of 1 over 5, which is 5. So you just flip it. All right, so this becomes 1 and x is greater than or equal to what? Right. All right, so we graph that. Over 35, 36, 37. All right, and where does our graph start? Is it open or closed? Right, it includes the solution 35. And then which way does our arrow go? Right, any number greater than, so it goes right. Again, if you always make sure your variable is on the left side of your inequality, then you're able to follow the arrow of your inequality sign, left or right. Okay. Abigail, number 3. So number 3, we have x divided by -2 plus 1 is less than 9. So what do we do first here? Yeah, we got to subtract 1 from both sides. And so we end up with what? Right. All right, and what do we do next? Sure do. Multiply both sides by -2. And what's our final inequality? Okay. And what's our inequality? Very good. So we switched it because we multiply by a negative number. All right, so when we put that on a graph, looks like we have -16, -15, Just remember, if they're negative, the numbers get smaller as they increase in value. All right, so where does our graph start? Open or closed? Right, it's open because it does not equal to, and then what direction do we go in? Yep. So any solution for x that is greater than -16 will make our original inequality true. All right, so number 4, Aiden. We have 3x plus 5 does not equal 4 plus 8x plus 7 minus 4x. Okay. What in the actual heck did I do? Right, so we need to combine our like terms, and we have a couple. Yep. Wait, why did I do that? Sorry. Amateur. I did, thank you. Yes, I am live. That was 8x. Okay, and I just want to reiterate this again because it does get missed. When I am combining like terms, what do I make sure I include with a term? Yes, the variable is part of the term. The sign in front of it. So you would want to make sure that once you're combining like terms, you remember to, when you start combining, that 4x minus 4x becomes a negative 4x. That way you have 4 plus 7 plus 8x minus 4x. 3x plus 5. I just want to put that in there. Okay, continue. Right, so once you do that, you have 4x plus 11. Okay, so yeah, that way we put all our variables on the left side. So that gives us negative x, which is negative 1x, yes. Plus 5 is not equal to 11. Right. So then once we subtract 5 from both sides, we end up with negative x does not equal 6. Right. Yeah, you can either divide each side by -1. I don't care if you necessarily show that step, as long as you recognize you just put that and switch the negative. Take it off of the x and put it on the answer. That's fine, because that's what you're doing when you divide by -1. You cannot leave that variable negative. So x does not equal -6. I know that took up a lot of room, but so then once we graph that, we have -6 in the middle, right? All right, so what's our graph look like? Open circle on 6. And then, yeah, and then our arrow or graph goes in both directions. Because we are saying that as long as your solution is not -6, it will make that a true inequality. All right, back to you, Andrew, number 5. Okay, number 5, I have completely covered over my number 5. What is that one?
7 minus x divided by 10 is less than or equal to
Right.
6/5.
What do you think we should do? Yeah, personally.
I think
What would we do if that was an equal sign instead of an inequality?
we would cross multiply.
We would cross multiply. You can cross multiply across an inequality any day of the week.
Right.
So, I am curious. I would do like
So it would be,
I'm gonna have to play with this. It does work in this instance. I'll check the one on the test, but I think it does as well. But I would definitely have the 7 minus x times 5 on the left side. And your 6 times 10 on the right. And I will check this and make sure that it works. I feel like I did and it did, but we need to make sure of that. So what do we do now?
so. Right,
What do we do to get rid of parentheses?
we distribute.
Yes. So remember, it has to go multiply by both.
35.
Brilliant. 35 minus 5x is less than or equal to what? Right.
Now, we subtract 35, both sides, and you get negative 5x, sorry, is less than or equal to 25. And then divide both sides. Negative 5, and you get x is greater than or equal to negative 5.
Okay. Let's plug that into our original equation and make sure that it makes sense. I would not pick the -5 because even if we have gotten that, if we had had that inequality the other direction, 5 would still work because it includes an equals to. So what's a number greater than -5? Let's do -4.
Let's use 0.
It would work. 7 minus -4 divided by 10. I would probably pick something that would make it even. That's all right. We can deal with fractions. 6/5. So this is 7 plus 4. 11 is less than, 10, thank you. I was counting in my head. 6/5. 11/10 is less than or equal to 6/5.
Good. Right.
Well, let's see. 11 divided by 10 is 1.1. So let's look at what is 6. 6 divided by 5 is 1.2. Whoa, Nelly. So this is 1.2. This is 1.1. Is that a true statement?
Yeah.
Is 1.1 smaller than 1.2?
Yes.
Then we're right.
Augers.
Yay. That's how you check your answer.
We have to graph it.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we? All right. What's the graph if x must be greater than or equal to,
It started to a little thing at 5, -5. So
right?
it'll circle the thing, but it is a close circle.
It is closed because it's included.
It goes to the right, to the right, to the right.
Okay. Unlike Beyonce's that all go to the left.
Wow.
All right.
We went from the cha-cha slide to Beyonce.
All right, so let's look at number 6. Ava, 4 minus 3x plus 8 is less than or equal to 2x plus 11. Okay, so what do we have to do first? Yes, what are you distributing? Mm-hmm. So what's being multiplied times 3x plus 8? We're subtracting it. What's being multiplied? What is understood outside that parentheses? Yeah, or just a negative. So pretty much all you do is you switch the sign of whatever's in the parentheses and you're right. So if that was like 3x minus 8, then that would become -3x plus 8 because you just flip whatever's in there. In this case, you're multiplying -1 times 3x and -1 times 8, which means they are the same except negative. So this becomes what, 4? Well, minus 3x, right, is less than or equal to, this guy doesn't change, 2x plus 11. Yeah, I threw that in there for a little chapter 1 practice, because I know those negatives trip everybody up and we need as much practice as we can get. Okay, are we as simplified as we can get? No, what do we have to combine? Right, so we have 4 minus 8. Because remember, 4 minus 8 is the same thing as 4 plus -8, which is unlike sign. So you find the difference and then carry whatever sign has the greater value. Okay, equals 2x plus 11. So now we are simplified. All right, so what do you want to do? Okay, so let's subtract the 2x from both sides. And we end up with what? X plus 4 is less than or equal to what? Right, the only thing left. Okay, next step. There we go. So let's get all of our constants on one side. We end up with -5x less than or equal to 15. Okay, last step. Okay, and so our final inequality is what? There we go, yes. So we had divided by a negative, so we have to flip our inequality. So it's actually x is greater than or equal to -3. All right, so let's graph it. Should have only made half these graphing. So they did give you all a lot, but I think y'all have the graphing part. Okay, so -3, -2, -1. All right, so what does our graph look like? Right. Right. So it includes -3. So anything -3 or greater will make that a true inequality. All right, good job. Number 7. All right, so number 7 is 6a plus 16. That's 18. Plus 18 is less than 2a minus 26. I think this one is Abigail's. And then Eden gets the last one. So we did end up with a perfect number here. All right. Nothing too complicated here. I what? I called you Aiden. I did? I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Sorry. All right, Abigail, what do we do? Yes. So what do we have to move? Yes. So we subtract 2a from both sides. And this gives us what? 4a plus 18 is less than -26, right? That subtraction doesn't automatically disappear just because we're not subtracting it from someone or something. We include it with that number. Very good. Okay, next step. We do. All right, and because these are both negative, we do what? Right. Keep the sign, and then we just add them together. So 6 plus 8 is 14, carry my 1, so -44. Oh, good. I love when I make them even. All right, so our last step here, Abigail. Okay. And then our final answer is what? Yeah, -11. But because it's the negative 44, because it's the numerator that is the negative, we're not dividing by a negative, we do not change our inequality. So last step, graph it. Ooh, somebody cut the air conditioning on. Goodness. 11, negative 10, negative 9. Okay, so what does my graph look like? Yes, and then it's anything less than negative 11. So our arrow of our graph goes to the left. Right, last one. 3x minus 4 plus x. Nothing you are going to see on the quiz is any more complicated than what we have right here. They saved that for the word problems. Even those aren't that bad.
Yeah, you say that.
I say, maybe they're not that bad to me. They're not that bad. 3x minus 4 plus x is greater than 5 minus 6x plus 2.
So are we just gonna do all these today, the word problems tomorrow?
Yeah. And then take the quiz on Thursday. Since there's not a lot of nighttime studying you really need to do around a quiz, I would just, whatever you find most confusing during class, try to work it on your own at home and make sure that you get the same thing. Okay, so Aiden, what do we need to do here? So we combine like terms, looks like we have some on both sides. So what is our simplified equation once we do that? Okay, I think so. 4x minus 4 is greater than 7 minus 6x. Okay, what do you want to do first? Okay, so let's add the 6x to both sides. So we have. Okay, next. All right. All right. And then we divide by 10.
It's one.
Well, what's anything divided by 10? It's you just move that decimal one spot. 1.1 or 11 over 10. You do have a fraction problem on your quiz. And you can leave your answer as a fraction. The one thing I want you to consider though is to reduce it as much as possible. Huh? You did? You flipped lead at me?
No, I got lead on your
Oh,
desk, that one.
That's your desk. All right, and that's all that we're gonna do today. So
Wait, we have 15 minutes or 10 minutes.
well, good. We can watch.
Top 10 biggest dogs.
We'll find some videos to watch. I don't know. All right.
Happy for 10 hours, low resolution.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all go because Aiden's out of control, or not Aiden, Andrew's out of control.